Hey guys, it's Tuesday and it's time to go back. Yeah, it's time to go back into the tavern and see what I did to decorate it. Right, Dewey? So Dewey and I just had a little event. I turned my back while I was putting on my dress and I turned back to get my dress off the bed and it was gone. Where was it, Dewey? Where was it? Where was my dress? Yeah, it was in here. So there are a couple changes that I have made since I did it. You know, that's the thing about decorating. You can lay around in your bed at night and think about, oh, I know what could go there. Oh, I'm wondering if this would work. And you just spend your whole time thinking about it. I don't know. Am I the only one that does that? I don't think so. Because, I don't know, it's not that I'm obsessive about decorating, but I want it to be just right. And there's always a way that could be just a little better. So today I'm going to show you part of the process of the tavern, and I'm going to be pretty sure here that it's not the only thing I'm going to do. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be changing things up in the next couple weeks, couple days, but I hope that you get a good idea of some of my thought processes when I was doing this. Is taking me a lot longer to get out than I thought because I did a whole video on Sunday showing you which pictures I would put over the fireplace and where I was going to put different pictures. And you know what happened? I ended up moving everything around. So when I first started going through the tavern, I was assuming that I was going to keep my tables that we made out of the electrical spools. They're the high tables, and I was going to keep them. But as time has gone on, we decided to get rid of them. And this is really where the decorating started. The rest of my conversation that I had all on Sunday to myself, I'm not even going to bother to show you because it's not worth seeing because I changed the whole thing. So let's start this in the tavern when I'm getting rid of the tables, and we'll move on from there. I guess this is something that when you can't let go of an idea, eventually you just have to know that if it keeps getting to you that you should move that, you probably should move it. Oh, Guy. I really don't know.
You want me to make a prediction?
Your prediction is we do?
Oh, of course. We'll move them in. We'll move them out. We'll move them in. We'll move them out. This is life.
Nice. So you guys can see, there's dog hair. I put these pads on there. That way I can move them across the floor and move them around all the time, which is what I've done.
Something, I'm sure.
Okay, so we had a little problem here. Things didn't go as planned. Apparently, this is the first one Tom put together, and he built that square onto the table. And then he screwed things in behind that square and then attached this. So basically he had to take the whole thing apart, which was so much less easy than this one where he just had to take the top off. So if you try to attempt to do this at home, make sure you do this part, the base, as one unit, and don't try to skip steps and conceal screws by building the square right onto the top, because then you have to take it all apart, right, Tom?
Or if you do, spend more time thinking about it than what I did.
Well, for 2 years we had him in here, so now he's doing it right, and we'll put them together in the tavern, and in the barn, and they'll be all set up the right way. Because what you want to do is you don't want to have this as one piece that you have to move, because it's not going to go through most doors, and it's going to be way too heavy. So, hey, Carl. Okay, we have some space in here. Some serious space in here. And it gives us the ability to move more things around. Now, the first thing I'm noticing right now, because those two tables are out, is, they really weren't completely the right style for in here, right? But when I got them, I didn't have this tavern table, and they worked because that's all I had in here. But now, I think those are going to look great in the barn, since I'm turning that into a big tavern party barn. And I have more room to move things around in here. So now I'm going to start decorating in here and moving some furniture around. Oh, come here. Come here. What you got? You found more charcoal? You did, didn't you? That's not a treat though, honey. That's not food. All right, so we have a mess here. Guys, I'm actually struggling with what I'm gonna do here. Now this looks really bare. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I've got some things to do. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, this is what I have so far. Obviously this isn't staying like this, but I wanted to show you, a lot of times I move this table here just because it kind of covers up the radiator and yuck, but in the winter you might not want to cover up the radiator too much. Although I have to tell you, we really don't use the heat in this house. We heat by wood, but again, you don't want this to have table. That's kind of blah. So I'm gonna move a few other things and see what happens. One thing I like in this room so far, this chair here is a beautiful place to sit and look and stare at the fire. So that's gonna stay, I think. And the bar stools are back by the bar, which is fine, but there's space here now to walk around. Of course, the dogs are always laying here. Everybody. Dewey would be right in the middle of them if he was out of his cage. I'm still not loving this though, guys. But if I turn that settle around and put its back there where it was originally, I'm gonna have table and table, and I'm gonna hate that too. So I gotta think a little more about this. And here it is above, right by the hearth. The dogs aren't so fond of that. I had to take the picture down. It was messing with me. But then I don't like it there by the bar stools. The bar stools feel wrong because that feels like a tavern, and this feels like an old colonial kitchen. So this isn't gonna work either. We're getting closer. So first I had this here, made a little seating area, decided to bring this settle over here. I took the blanket off the back of it and thought I'd just make a little seating area here. It's a little tight, but here someone can sit. They can look at the fire from either place. There's a light there. It's a comfortable area. There's no reason why I can't turn that sideways. So now we have this. I'm thinking that table is gonna go right back where it started. We're gonna look at that. Also, another move I made was our sweet little girl is now over the fireplace. I like her. I like her there a lot. It works with the Witch's Tavern sign. It's just coming together. So let's put this table over there. All right, the table is back over there. That's good. The bench can stay here or it can go by the table. If the bench stays here, however, again, you've got kind of a weird thing going on with the table and the bench. So let's just tuck that bench right over back by that trestle table. And I do want to talk about this little girl here, okay? If you have too many stuffed crafty things, your room is going to look cutesy. And I love this kind of stuff, but you have to use it very sparingly. Make a statement with it, but don't go overboard. 1 or 2 items per room. I would say once you start adding a whole lot, it's going to look more like a craft store and less authentic. Now, if you love this kind of stuff, go ahead and do it. Put it all over your house. I'm going for an authentic look in here, and so I'm curbing the cutesy, even though I like it, which is why I have it. Here we go. I have a bunch of stuff. I have to disseminate through the room, and now I have a bare space here. So I have an idea. Brunhilde's back. Why not, right? Why not go for the witch's look? Oh, Brunhilde, you're hiding behind that big. There we go. Once I start a fire, I might move her back just a little bit, but there she is. She looks great. Okay, so I have this cord hanging there, which could end up being a problem for the puppy. And it might be nice to have a little teeny something there. So I kind of have to think of what could go there that would kind of hide that area. I could put this footstool over there. And Dewey likes this footstool because he wants to chew on those cords. But I'd rather have him chew on that cord than those. Let's get that. Now you guys, you see I'm destroying this room to do another room, but you know, I don't think I can really destroy it. I think this needs to go here because that kind of brings that tan from the walls in. Now you see I don't have anything there. That could be a little irksome. It's looking a lot better, but now I feel the need to declutter. So I have these 2 antique books here. They're kind of cool. And then this old pair of glasses. And that next to a candle reflector light, I really like that. I also have these pewter pieces here to make it look like they're going to sit down and have a drink, but I'm feeling it's a little too contrived. Here I've got the crow. I like the crow over there, but I'm feeling like something needs to change here too. It feels too cluttered, and I think that this isn't necessary. So if we remove this, look at that. It's shakers, and I can just put them up in here. This is where I put things. You know, when I want to be more cluttered, I can just open this up, clean it out a little bit, and have that open. And that's another really cool look for in here, especially with that red there. In fact, I like that a lot, but I'm going to close it for now. And it'd be nice to have a basket there that I could put over those wires and kind of hide them, or a box. That would be good. This is all looking good to me. Now I have extra and excess here because there's too much. One thing I could do is take one of these lanterns and hang it by the fireplace. Again, I'd move that once I start a fire, but I like that. Doesn't that look great? Because I'm adding to the clutter that's there, but it kind of feels like it works and it tells a story. So let's pretend that this candle that I laid on its side is a dry loaf of bread. Now that would be a whole lot cuter. Maybe a little silverware, something to look like you're cutting and having the bread and actually make it look like there was a meal interrupted here. So that's going to be something that I'm going to work on and see if I can come up with one of those ideas. But today, that's not our project for today. We're just going to use our imagination, and I'm going to come up with a better plan here. If I had another witch that was a big witch and a little shorter, I could put her right there and really drive this witch's thing home. And maybe I'll find one. We'll see. All right, I switched it out again. Look how much better it looks. I've got a brown jug, and then I've got 2 redware cups. And again, pretend that candle is bread. You know, I really can't put real bread there because there are a few little doggies that would climb right up on that table and eat it. So that can't go there. So for now, it'll be a candle. But you guys get the idea of making a scene, setting a scene so that it looks like someone stopped in and you gave them some bread and some grub. And I could even put a couple porringer. Let me get one. That's a good idea. I'm always thinking of these things, even as I talk. Okay. I've got one right here. These porringer pots were something that they would have eaten some soup in. And how fun are they? So just vary it, you know, don't worry about having things match because it just doesn't matter. I mean, this one does not match this one, but I think it gives you some interest. So why not switch it up a little and make it look like they're having an authentic little snack here. Also, I did end up opening that up. I really like the jugs over there. It's giving me a little more feeling of carrying this room into that section of the room. Since I took everything off of the wall there, this part of the room was very top heavy, and this back part of the room didn't have enough in it. So now it does. All I had to do is open those cupboards up, get rid of a little of the junk that I'd put in there, and flip that around. You'll also notice too, it might be a little redundant with the crow there and the old crow pub there, but I had that behind the door and thought that that should come out. So I guess there's a few things I could do with this to keep it from being too redundant. This is fun and it's fine here, but what if I put it up here? Let's see what that does. Since we don't have anything up here anyway, maybe that sits there. And see if that gives us a little bit of a better feeling. Yeah, that's not bad either. And then I could put those keys back on the door. That way we don't have 2 crows, because that was bothering me, 2 crows. See what it's like to decorate? Did you guys ever see this hallway? Look at that. I really have to paint it, but this is old chips paint and it tells you what colors have been here. And I can open that and the dog is growling because he knows the cat is there. And our dog is not cat friendly. All right, I like that. I can deal with that. If I had even a bigger tavern sign, I might put it there, but I can deal with that crow there. It's not looking as redundant. The stuffed crow is far enough away from Brunhilde that it's not looking too cutesy. A box would be great instead of the footstool there, but yeah, I don't know if I have one. So we're done. We are done. Okay, I want to talk about balance in this room a little bit, because if you look around, you're going to see a lot of balance. All right, the black cookware is balanced off by the black portrait on top. The brown here with the bottles is balanced off right over here with Brunhilde, who has a brown cape on. And she has a black hat, which brings some of this black back over to this side of the room. In addition, you've got the black from the lantern, and then over here, you've got a lot of brown, and then the black from the crow, and the black from the lantern. So you see how that balances off in the room? You've got dark and light, so there's contrast, dark and light walls, and then dark again on that bench, but that bench is lighter, so it's not competing with any of the other wood. It's a totally different element, and it's old and very weathered, and so it doesn't compete with anything else. These two tables share kind of a similar kind of wood hue. This one's a little more beat up, but they're far enough apart that they're not competing with each other. And of course, they really go well with the floor. So you've got all of this wood in here to warm up the area. But then you have the black settle and the black chair, armchair, and then you also have this little black table. So all of that balances out. Even on the table here, we've got the redware and the pewter and some rust and even a little touch of black against this white area. So again, it's bringing that contrast in. Same with the kitty on the couch. It's a tan background with a black cat. Even on the walls, you see that most of the signs have black writing. There's black lanterns. There's black crow sign. So all of this black is coming all around the room. A black frame around the auction sign. And then back up here to the Witch's Tavern sign is also in black. So you've got the wood and the warmth, the black iron chairs that tie right back in with the black iron in the stove there, the cook stove. So you see how everything goes together. Then we have the wood rustic roof, which is a little bit different, of course, than the wood floors, but that rustic nature ties in with this bench, which is very rustic. So everything leads to kind of a balance in this whole room. And the way that I decorated it also is balanced. So everything is kind of the same and yet different, and it flows through the room. You have a definite pathway to flow through the room now. The dogs can certainly sit by the fireplace. And in the fall, when we light a fire here, we're not going to have a problem with too much stuff in front of it. There's room now for people to eat at the bar there. And I think that this room is actually very nice. And as I say all the time when I decorate a room, I think this is the best way it's ever been. And maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But I'm loving it. I'm not regretting taking those tables out, thankfully, because they're sitting on the lawn and they're going to go into the barn tonight when Tom gets off of work. So I can't wait to show you what I do to the barn. I also have plans for that, but I'm really liking this, guys. So, room 1 done for fall. And Brunhilde, we thank you for coming back to the bar, and I thank all of you guys for joining me today. See you when we work on the living room.